horrible.
Alright, quick little week 3 update. Just posted our video tonight and still working on all this. So here's what we got. Check this out. Center console is back in and we have a 4x4 lever. This is still the 2-wheel drive casing. I went to trim it out just to trim this section off, and naturally, of course, I trimmed this side thinking it was this side, so now I just have a big hole, which sucks because I wanted to do just half of it. So I'm going to try and find a 4x4 one, but for now, that's on there. I'll figure out something for that, but still pretty bummed about that. I can't believe I trimmed the wrong piece. Actually, I can, because that's just basically how I do everything, which kind of ends up taking longer and more work. But it's in, got the 4x4 lever done. I'm trying to stop saying squared away because I say it way too much. And also got the drive shaft. Where's that? There it is. Plugged back in. For the record, this part right here is like really hard to get back together because it's got a nice seal on it. I thought it was too long, but after doing some measurements and playing around with it, I realized that it actually fit in there perfectly. And so the front drive shaft is actually okay. So here's where I'm at with the center console done now and the front drive shaft on. I still just need to do 2 more things before I can really test it out. My track bar needs to go back in. I got the bolt out, but it just needs to be pushed a little bit to the right. Obviously you can see how well I cleaned all this up. The whole point of this is I'm gonna clean this up more. I just wanted to get in there and make sure everything functioned first, because what's worse than spending like hours cleaning something up and then realizing it doesn't even work. So got that in there, and from there it's really just the shocks. But what I'm thinking about doing is just going ahead and testing it out right now, since I have everything buttoned up except for the shocks, which I should be able to do. It's just gonna be super bouncy while in the front track bar. So I'll get the track bar mounted first, and then may just test this out without the shocks, so we can see this in see if the whole 4x4 even works. So that's where we're at. Today's goal is to get the track bar hooked up, and of course naturally you have to get the body to go this way and the axle to go this way. So it doesn't always work out when you're by yourself, so you got to be ingenuitive. So I got some tie straps set up on the front frame of the XJ, and I got this tied up to the sway bar of the new K10 over here that we're going to be doing a little bit of a street build on, something super mild. But anyways, strap those up together so that now this lines up a lot better with that hole. Before it was like an inch over this way. So I'm gonna get that lined up, bolt on the track bar, get that set up, and at that point I should be able to drive this around and test the 4x4 out. It's like super bouncy, like it's on hydraulics right now because there's no shocks, but I'll get that set up after this. Just kind of want to see how that goes. My final ride height, I don't really have a good side view. I guess that's kind of the best side view I can get right now. It looks kind of level. Maybe the front is a little higher, I'm not sure. I'll have to measure the gaps. They actually look pretty even. But ready for those 35s to go on. I also have some blocks over here, which I'm going to use to build my own transfer case drop. I'm just going to use these, punch holes in them, and then put that in between the transfer case bar, whatever you want to call it, cross member, and lower the transfer case to kind of help the drive line out a little bit. It's not too bad, but it could be better. So that's where we're at. Let's get this front bolted on, and we'll see if the 4x4 works. Cool, that worked out super easy. Got that sucker on there. I think those go to like 120 pounds of torque. That's what I bolted it on. Also, quick little fun fact. I did some research on this because, like I said, I have so many JK parts lying around. I have this steering stabilizer for up front that's in really good condition. Not great, it's a little bit dirty, but way better than this guy right here. So I did some research, and it looks like I can swap this one in. So not that these are really expensive, but shoot, I already have one lying around, and it's it's good to go. Way better than this thing is. I'll show you what that looks like when I get it back off, but it's a piece of junk. So I'll swap this one on. I think you just have to have a new bolt for up here, but it shouldn't be too crazy to do. Put some spacers on there and washers on there and stuff, but that'd be a quick little easy mod too while we're at it. I'm gonna see if I can show you this with one hand. But basically, here is the stock one, or the one that was on there. It's this kind of hunk of junk. And then here's the JK one. Much better compression. So while it's not an upgrade, it's extremely better than what was on there. Alright, ended up just using a longer bolt right there of a slightly smaller diameter because drilling that out wasn't working. So anyways, got some JK in the heart of the sole of this. Got the steering stabilizer on, got the track bar on, and let's go see if Shay can film us going up and down the street real quick, and we'll test the 4x4. This sucker's gonna be hopping like it's on hydraulics, but it's all buttoned up, and we'll see how she does. Alright, moment of truth. Got the track bar on, got the steering stabilizer on, got the lift on, got the 4x4 swap in. No shocks in it yet, so if it looks like I'm three-wheel motion and hopping around, it's because I am. We're going to go ahead and get this started. The most I moved it is like 10 feet back and forth. If Shay hears anything just totally bogus, hopefully she'll tell me to stop before we explode something. But we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty sure everything's buttoned up. It may be low on transmission fluid, so it may not shift perfectly, and that's going to be okay. That's going to be normal. So we'll just test it out, make sure it goes up and down the street, put it in 4x4. I'll ask her to look and see if the drive shaft's spinning or not. I can't remember which motion it's supposed to be spinning or not, but we'll just kind of see what happens. So, here we go. Let's see what happens.
It is clunking. It's like boom, 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 boom. Oh, trying it off road. The old curb. It's so good that we don't have neighbors yet.
With all the vibration I had yesterday because of my driveline angles, I'm going to go ahead and do the transfer case drop. Instead of buying one, what I got was this 1" by 1" square tubing. Drilled some holes in it. Got these bolts right here, which are M10 by 1.5 thread by 50" length. I got class 8, those should be plenty fine for this. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these nuts and hardware and go ahead and install this homemade drop in there. So hopefully that'll help my driveline angle a lot and get rid of a lot of the vibration. And real quick, as you probably know, one side has a bolt coming down from here and the other one threads in. So to remove this bolt, you just put the two nuts, one from this side and one from that side, put them on here, and then you just back this out with that. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to not let this nut up top go down, so it's going to tighten onto the threaded stud in there and pull it out. And then you'll be able to replace it with the new bolts. Hope that makes sense, but I'll show you in a minute. Tried the 2-nut method and it was completely bogus. Would not work for me, so I ended up just using some channel locks or vice grips. Latched down on that sucker and finally got it off. So that's what it looks like when it's off. It's hard time focusing, but there we go. And it's finally removed. 2 hole openings over here now, underneath there. Now I'm just going to put the spacer in and the bolts and get this one side done and see if I can do the same thing to the other side. It's dark now. I actually couldn't go to bed because this was really bothering me trying to get these bolts out. So got the first one out. Hopefully I can get the second one. Fingers crossed. It's on now. My driveline angle looks a bit better. I'm going to add some more support in there. I mean, this works for now, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm probably going to add some washers in between and some longer bolts. But for now, for testing out this theory, like I said, the angle is much better. I think the rear axle is pointing more at the drive shaft, which I think it's supposed to be level with the transfer case up here, so this straight and then this straight. But I think if it's pointing here, it should help a lot more than it was, because it was like at this weird joint angle right there. So we'll test this out tomorrow during the daylight and see if we get as much clunking. Hopefully it's a lot better. Well, folks, it is the end of week 3, and here's how the Jeep sits. Like I said, I just went ahead. It was kind of dark, but I got the transfer case drop installed. It's kind of just a homemade thing that I came up with. I tested it out yesterday morning just before I went to work, and it seems like it's fixed and good to go, so that'll solve my problem with that. It hangs down a little bit lower than I'd like it to, but honestly, with the tires and everything, it's just kind of one other point that I'll kind of have to look out for, and that'll just serve its purpose until we get a SYE. So a couple things that I do need to finish up and dial in over the next week or so is I obviously need shocks. I don't have any shocks set up. My brother's going to hook me up with his old shocks that he has on his 4-inch lift because he's going to 6.5. So that'll get that taken care of. I need my lower control arms, and I need an adjustable track bar because right now this one works, but obviously with the lift you might be able to see a little bit of the alignment, but it's pulling a little bit to the right just because it doesn't fit perfectly. I'm getting my wheels coming in on Sunday, so I'll have those to show. I'll finally be able to put the 35s on. I still need to source 2 more 35s, and we'll have this guy off-road in a matter of a week. So hopefully the weekend of October 8th is kind of my goal, to have suspension dialed in, wheels and tires on, 4x4 rocking, and we'll go out and wheel. So that's where we're at. End of week 3, looking good and coming along. No shocks will do that, but it's a bit work in progress. But we're there. Week 3 done.